Hey Fitheads, today we have Chris and Eric Martinez, who are fitness business coaches. Basically, they train trainers how to train better, but not the training part of it. It's the business aspect of it, how to build an online training program and train in person. It's a hybrid. It's like they've been doing this for years too. It's like they knew something was coming and they were totally prepared for it now that we're all working out at home.
Yeah, something that rhymes with schmovid or schmovid
I'm
IT.
not saying that they caused it to
Yeah, they
improve their
didn't.
business.
It was interesting for us too because we're YouTubers, but what does that job entail? I thought it meant make a funny video, and that's kind of half of it. And then the other half of it is like how to brand yourself, how to market yourself, how to work for yourself, how to be an entrepreneur, how to, there's a lot of businesses that are like half of it is the actual thing you're doing, and then the other half is like how to build out your business. So anybody who's got any sort of entrepreneurial or work for yourself or dynamic lifestyle aspirations, I think this is definitely the episode for you.
Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people. Welcome, Chris and Eric. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. No, it's we're looking forward to this, and like I said, we're talking before we hit the record button. We're all from LA, and Chris and I just pretty much moved to Texas. So, yeah, so it's good to meet you guys, and we're happy to be on the show.
Is it you needed more space for your
Yeah,
sandbag carries or something?
yeah, Chris needed more space. He has like an aspiring like eyebrow threading type of business, so he needed more space for that.
Yep, I'm in the negotiations right now.
Have you guys got cowboy hats yet, or when do they give you
Not
one when you
yet,
cross the
not
border?
yet. But once we move in Saturday, maybe we're gonna go get the boots and the hat and all that
Spurs.
stuff. Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah, but you know what? It's really not even that vibe out here. I think it's
Yeah,
just
it's
because
not.
it's Dallas, but we keep hearing certain areas have more of that feel, that more kind of like cowboy type of approach. But yeah, it's very city-like here. Everybody's really nice. It's diverse. I mean, so yeah.
It really does remind me of like LA. I mean, kind of the same weather. We've been out here, same kind of vibe. I mean, to me, it's just like nothing huge of a difference yet.
Just no beaches.
Yeah,
Hmm.
less traffic too.
But it's always like you have I have the ability to go to the beach. Do I go to the beach?
Right.
No.
Of course not.
That's
Same
how it
here.
was.
But I could if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you want to
And
sit
I
down
need
in
that,
traffic.
I just need to be able to want to be able to go.
Yeah, it's the illusion of it,
Yeah, it's
Just
so
like you have the oasis there.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I was like, I'm totally going to start surfing. And I've been to the beach maybe twice, and it was
Yeah.
for a video.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
only ever for
I
work.
always wondered that about like those that say, "Oh, I have to live by the water," like in Southern California. I'm like, do you really utilize it as much as you
Mhm.
say? I mean, I just always question that.
Yeah, those type of people are also like very into being an Aquarius and then telling me what my birthday is about too.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, so you're a part of the mass exodus out of LA.
Yeah,
Well, a
yeah,
lot of what we were saying you do is online, and so it seems like, I mean, you could be anywhere. Literally right now, any of us could be anywhere doing this.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the beauty of it. We've been doing this for the last decade. Going online. So I mean, we've definitely set ourselves up for like a pandemic or COVID type of approach where it's a
Yeah.
lockdown. So it wasn't really anything.
What
really
did you
crazy.
know?
What did you know?
Yeah, that's I did want to talk about that because it's like you were ahead of the game. You were talking about this well before everyone now is trying to work out on Zoom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a movement we're pushing right now of, getting away from the whole like workouts from Zoom. It's called like the online Zoom fitness coaching. And it's becoming the new model of like in-person training to where it's literally your time restricted. You can't scale it. It's
Mhm.
not going to be predictable as far as income wise. And I hear a lot of people already saying they're getting tired of it because you have to motivate people like at another 10x level because you're not there in person. You're doing it through a computer and it's not a good model. It was a good model just to pivot for a little bit, but if people think they're going to keep sustaining it going forward and building a profitable fitness business online, it's not going to really happen.
Yeah, it's interesting thinking about the scalability of that. There's a way to train a lot of people and not be trading just your time.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's also that element of I feel like I need something personalized sometimes, right? Like when I have an imbalance or whatever, I'm not getting that. I'm doing online training right now. It's just a a program someone wrote for the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's when I start, having an imbalance in my squats, there's no one there to say, hey,
Yeah.
let's add in some unilateral movement or whatever. So I don't know. I kind of guess I'm just like sort of pushing back on like how to solve that kind of thing.
Right. And that's the thing is like when we did our first business dynamic duo training and literally coached over like 1,000 people in an 8-year span. I mean, we didn't do once like a Zoom session like that or anything, it was what we call real authentic online coaching, to where it's like everything's individualized for the training program, the nutrition program, the accountability check-in every single week, whether that's video, audio, you make it more of an experience. And then if you have an issue like that, where somebody needs like some cues on a squat, a bench or something like that, then that's what the video components for, where people can send it through WhatsApp, they can send it as a text message, something like that. If they really need to go like online, a Zoom or something like that, then you can have like a session with somebody like, okay, I'm going to do that, but that needs to be like put in strategically into like a program and charge at a higher price because it's more of your time.
Yeah, and that's where you could even like go above and beyond and just deliver like that customer experience and really wow them, through like an individualized process, where it's like you're taking a general interest in each person, you're learning about their family, their interests. It's not just like, okay, like here's session 1 out of like 10 and we're going to go 45 minutes on a phone or a computer and that's really it, and I see so many people doing that. Our students were doing that, when this first happened, and they hated it. So that's kind of like what we're trying to do, is like really just kind of like get these fitness professionals out of that broken model and just more of a sustainable model going forward.
So what is the sustainable model?
The one-to-one, just individualized, to where it's like you can charge a higher premium. And again, it goes back to customization, just individualize more of your time, more access to you, the coach, to where that's where you charge a higher premium, because you're giving them more accessibility and you can take on, more people, as opposed to just trading time for dollars and selling sessions.
But then how do you scale it? Wasn't that the original problem?
No, the original problem is doing like the one-to-one
Yeah.
personal training through the computer,
Exactly.
because there's only one person and you can only do so many sessions and you're burnt out. So it's like the new form of like one-to-one personal training inside the gym. That's what we're saying. But you need to go the route of like the individualized thing. And it's like only like a 15-minute to 30-minute weekly check-in with each client. So it frees up more time and allows you to scale more.
Do you find there's anything lost in the, oh, I love being in person. I need in-person love from my trainer or whatever, whether it's, an old lady who doesn't know how to work out, or just like a guy who's like really trying to get a PR or something.
Absolutely.
Gross
You find there's,
extroverts.
Yeah. And
people
that's the
who
thing. It's like
desire, need that attention.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing, is like this year, like we wrote our new book all based on the hybrid training model of in-person and online, because that's what we truly preach to our students, is you need two components, the in-person and the online, because it's never going to substitute the in-person training, like the dynamic of it and all that stuff. But now with COVID, it's like, shoot, I don't know, like if there's going to be that hybrid model like anytime soon, with gyms being shut down still and just people being fearful going into gyms. So it's a tricky situation what this did.
Yeah, do you guys think it'll get back to that, or this whole thing is just like shifted the landscape? People are working from home now. Like, wait a minute, we didn't ever need to leave. What? So well, I mean, not that anybody knows, but what do you predict once gyms are opening up and personal training is allowed? Do you think it's still not going to jump back like it was?
Yeah, I think that the one-to-one in-person training, if it does kind of open back up, it's going to be more scarce and rare. So I think it's going to be a higher premium price, because people are going to be afraid, and the people that want to do it, they're going to be able to charge more for that. So it's kind of like it's flipping the script. And I think that the one-to-one Zoom thing is going to be the new personal training, but that's going to be a commodity because it's so easy to be able to do it and set it up.
Yeah, I think the mom and pop gym owners, like the independent gyms, are going to thrive because it's smaller boutique. It's not so crowded. Like the fear is not going to be there. I mean, I'm observing right now, most gyms here in Dallas, Texas are open. So I'm observing, but they're empty. They really are.
Really?
Everyone's
People are
wearing
scared?
masks. Oh yeah, they have like,
Wow.
little like things where they give you at the front to go clean the stations. So it's like, it's getting used to all that, it's just very odd. So I can't imagine it going back to a packed gym, like a 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness. I mean, Gold's Gym. I mean, it's very hard to imagine that.
Yeah. And this gym is banking on like group sessions, group classes, like
That's rough.
Group
I mean, it might
classes.
get to a point where
classes,
whatever vaccine or herd immunity or whatever it is, where COVID is no longer a fear. And then I feel like we need 7 Coachellas. Like, people will be so wanting to be around other people that maybe those group classes will take off again.
Yeah, who knows?
It's just
Yeah.
going to be interesting. There's going to be like a herd of people where they're just going to want to get back into it and they're just craving it. And there's going to be other people where they just don't, I think,
Yeah.
you know,
Also, I
that's,
think a big part of it is equipment. Like, I think a lot of people are figuring out that they can get a pretty good workout in at home,
yep.
and maybe they splurge on, I don't know, like a pull-up bar, or some kettlebells, or something.
Entire garage gym.
Yeah,
Exactly.
everyone's
Yeah.
tricking out their garage gym these days. So I think unless it's like a weird leg curl machine or something, pretty specific, I think a lot of people are figuring out that they can get a good workout at home. When you guys are working with trainers and stuff, is it hard to get them to figure out a home workout, or is it just everybody's just back to push-ups and burpees?
Yeah, really quick, I just want to kind of go back to your point on that. It's a great point, Max, because think about it too, like in the context of LA, how there's so much traffic to where people are probably just, figuring out I can save more time just,
Yeah.
working out at my house and battling
Yeah.
traffic like back
Yeah.
and forth. But yeah, and then just for the trainers programming, I mean, definitely it's a little bit more of like a unique twist depending on what the clients have access to, right? Is it just like bands? Is it just body weight stuff? I mean, what are they really working with? So it all comes down to that. But I mean, what I would advocate to a trainer is just, if you're taking on a client, you're going to program something in person or at their home, just have them send you a video of everything they have, like literally the room,
The
just the
space.
equipment,
Yeah.
and then just go from there.
Another reason to have something personalized.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
I wonder if we'll see a rise in dance fitness. That's gonna be the new thing. Write that down. Where's a pen? I gotta write that down.
Wait, we just had a chiropractor on that said dance is terrible for you. Well, specifically ballet.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking like, hey y'all, like let's get it going.
Yeah.
the
Oh, isn't
dance
that happening right now? Like online Zumba?
yeah, they have
Probably,
those. And
yeah.
I've seen a couple of people on Instagram even do like the group stuff of a dance, and they say like Venmo me like $5 to attend. At this time, I'm like, really? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? So like, that's
crazy.
what I mean. Like people just don't really know what to do about it.
Yeah, that's like everything is changing, which is crazy because you were preaching this so long ago. Have you found that it now that everybody's like mass heading to digital for training, that it's easier for you guys and it's easier for the people you coach, the trainers? Is it easier for the trainers to do this online now that everybody's looking online for working out, or is it harder because the market's saturated?
I mean, the demand for fitness is like at all time high, so that's not a problem. I mean, like we thought too, like, when this happened, like man, like just like business was going to completely explode and stuff because the demand for just like, needing the business aspect of it. But it's trainers are just in a weird situation psychologically right now. We've talked to our students too, and kind of where their headspace is at. And there's a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. They're holding on to their money. They don't want to spend it on extra stuff. It's like the bare necessities, like, food, shelter, some other stuff. So it's a tricky situation on that part. And then, if they want to pivot into like online coaching right now, I mean, is way easier than it was like when we started, like basically almost 10 years ago, because of all like the technology and like the apps that they have to be able to do stuff now. But again, they don't know how to actually really do it though, because they haven't done it, and textbooks and certifications don't teach this type of stuff, so that's an issue itself. But again, you're dealing with a stubborn trainer that has like an ego already. So they're going to try to figure it out themselves, watch a bunch of free like YouTube videos and be like, oh, I can do it myself, until they sit there and figure out they can't do it themselves.
So you found that like trainers in general is like a type of person that sucks at social and can't pull this off?
I don't know. I think they can pull it off. They truly want to, but the majority can't, because they're so in their head and they have so many self-limiting beliefs already as it is, just around money, around imposter syndrome, fear of getting started, fear of failure, all that type of stuff. So once it gets to their head and stuff, they realize that it's harder than what they think. Then by just going online, then they'll start realizing it, or they'll try to pivot into a whole another career change and they'll blame it on like COVID or the industry or something like that.
Yeah. Now, what was that article you read the other day that was like 80% of trainers, like the churn rate of people actually staying as like a fitness professional is like, what was it? It was a crazy,
like 75%.
Yeah.
It's like, so people that go into this industry, like they have like 1 foot in, it's like, maybe it's a temporary thing, maybe it's like a little side hustle, maybe it's like, let me just see how I do with it. But it's rare when you see somebody go all in and be like, I'm a true fitness professional, I'm going to be in this for 5 years, 10 years, play the long game with it,
Which is weird because fitness people share more motivating quotes than I've ever heard in any
Right?
other body.
And that's what's funny though, right? Because they think they think that's what you do on content is just post a bunch of motivational, like, quotes or pictures with them with their shirt off
Yeah.
or something like that. And
Yeah.
there's no value,
Hey,
there's
I
no intention.
feel slightly attacked.
Yeah.
Is that you posting like gym selfies all the time?
Duh, of course, but nothing is
Oh.
motivational. So you do social media consulting. I know that you're like helping them Instagram better and stuff. Do you ever suggest podcasting for trainers?
I mean, I think that's definitely a new avenue, just to gather, more traffic towards what you're doing, right? Whether it's to like your offers, your sales funnels, email lists, because again, audio is huge, right? Like, I mean, everyone, if you can really get people into like listening to your ear on a day-to-day basis or week basis, I mean, that's amazing. That's like true, authentic fans that know, like, and trust you, that they're going to eventually buy into what you're doing, spread the word, because you own the podcasting platform. Like like social media, that could be changed any day. So that's rented land, as opposed to like a podcast platform or email list. You own those things. So hell yeah, I'm always preaching, to jump on a podcast. I mean, just start off slow and just play the long game with it and build it up.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've always heard that, email you own, but podcasting, isn't it still like you're subscribing on iTunes is just like subscribing on YouTube? How is
Yeah,
it
but then
different?
I think too, like the fact that if you're like, getting their emails through there and you have like, other like call to actions. I'm not sure what you guys do, but like for us on our podcast, we do like, commercial ads on our shows to drive people to different places. So, we're always trying to get them into like our funnels and get their, text, either like SMS texting, email, or whatever, but yeah, I mean, I still think that I'd rather take my chances with podcasts than like social media.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, texting too, you own
Oh, heck
them,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Own them.
Texting's hot right
Yikes.
now too. Yeah.
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 It's not own them.
Are
It's
you using
own your own avenues.
yeah.
Like how we used to own subscribers, and then YouTube was like, just kidding. You guys want to watch more Jimmy Fallon clips? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Dang. Have you seen texting is helpful for you? You're using
Oh, yeah.
Community?
Not Community. Yeah. It's called
Okay.
Scipio.
Scipio. Interesting.
Yeah, that's another good one too. But yeah, it's really hot right now. I mean, everybody's checking their texts, and we've compared it to email, and more people are taking action, like on your offers through text. And if you send the same thing and test it like on email, I mean, the results are way better on text message right now for sure.
Yeah, it's something we're doing is just like a Monday motivation. So just to get people in there, right? Give them some value and just
Send them a gym selfie?
No.
Shirts off,
No.
boys.
We should make that a rule on this podcast. Why do we not?
I don't know.
I mean,
We had a bunch of weird ideas when we started this. We were like,
yeah,
all
we
right,
used
so
to- we used to
we
do
open the
that.
podcast, everybody shotguns some pre-workout, chug some pre-workout,
Yeah.
and then let's go. But then
That'd be cool.
You say you used to do that?
No, I mean, like all the gym selfie stuff, like shirtless stuff, but you just get to a point where just like, man, just what is this really doing? Like you're just trying to attract females, or is that really the right audience you're trying to attract? I mean, just I think we all go through those like growing phases.
yeah, I don't know. I think shirts off is like, for me, shirts off is like my beard. I thought I would attract girls, and it just attracted a ton of guys being like, sup, bro? Sick traps. And I'm like, cool.
Sick traps.
All right. Well, here we
Yeah.
are. What are you going to do?
How long did it take you to grow that beard?
Beard's been going for a while. I just
Yeah.
trimmed it the other day, about half off, and you can't even tell. It looks the same. But in my brain, I had like a nervous breakdown, and now I finally understand every girl who's ever got a haircut and been like, so like, is this okay? And I'm like,
It looks a little less wizardy. It's not as much of a point.
Yeah,
I can
like,
tell.
It's a weird one. I cut it actually. Well, since it's a fitness podcast, I might as well tell you guys. I used to put it in a bun when I work out, because back when I would go to the gym, when gyms were open, I was barbell pressing, and it was my last rep, and it was too heavy, and then it like trapped my beard, and I was like, oh no. So then, yeah, I decided to cut it a little, clean it up a little bit, and now also I'm only doing dumbbells. So
Gotcha. What gym did you guys used to go to out there?
I went to Gold's. I used to go to like a fancy old lady gym, I guess, and then I changed and went straight to Gold's, which is my preference. It's just a garage. It's the most tricked out garage gym that there is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I went to a CrossFit gym out here, and then 24 Hour Fitness, which I guess is gone now, is bankrupt or something. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that? I don't know if that means that they may have just like been bankrupt, but not actually closing. I don't know if they're coming back or not. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the
Yeah,
future?
exactly.
Like I said, I can't picture those places being packed like that ever again. It's going to take
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
Are you guys like? Did you build something at home, or are you just working out with a backpack full of sand?
Yeah, I mean,
That's it,
when we
yeah.
were over there, we just got creative just with some bands and just like outside stuff. I mean, that was really it, to be honest. I mean,
Really?
thankfully, we're originally from Northern California, so we had the luxury of going back and forth to like my mom's place where she had a home, and we had like old garage like equipment there, so we kind of
Mhm.
fixed that up and stuff. But other than that, yeah, it was kind of slim pickings.
Yeah.
It sucked.
So that's why now it's like super nice being like in a well-equipped gym, and like you just appreciate it so much because of like it being taken away almost, for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Sure.
So who is stronger
The $1 million question. So
and more flexible?
Oh, to everyone who's listening, they are identical twins. Feel free to go to YouTube to see it in person. They look the same.
yeah. Gosh, just certain lifts.
Do you want to answer at the same time?
Nah.
1, 2, 3. Me.
That-
No, just kidding.
Stronger at pressing.
So yeah, I'm
Come
probably
back.
stronger like at pressing, but probably
Mhm.
him like more pulling movements and stuff, and like definitely him
This
with
is such
lower
a
body.
democratic
That makes
answer.
perfect sense. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Wow.
And then flexibility, I don't know. I can't really say on that. That's a tough one. We're both like we're not flexible guys.
Yeah, we went to a yoga class one time and got kicked out,
Yeah.
so that's not gonna happen again.
I could not have a twin without every workout being like a 1RM test. What the heck?
Well, we had our competitive days, like 5 years ago when we were into like 1RMing every single week and all that stuff, like West Side barbell training, all that stuff. So yeah, that was fun.
And did you burn out or did somebody
Oh
win?
man,
It's
burned-
okay. You don't have to.
we got so many injuries from it. Like, man, knowing now what I know, and like, there's no way I would have done that stuff or even advocate that to like clients when I was coaching. It's just a great way to be injured and be having some aches and pains right now.
So, do you not train people anymore? You train trainers? Is that a full-time thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just strictly what we pivoted to about 3 years ago. So yeah, we were doing the online coaching for such a long time, and we started off like more of just like an independent gym, just working with people in person, but just there wasn't any fire there anymore.
Mhm.
I think we just did everything we wanted to do, and just we needed a new challenge. Like for some reason, like business, marketing, the psychology of it, just breaking down people's self-limiting beliefs really kind of just like fired us up, because we were in that position before, and we knew that like fitness professionals out there need so much guidance just when it comes to building a business the correct way.
Yeah.
It is weird. There's a couple industries like that where you sort of need to know your industry, and then you also need to know like a supplemental but essential how to how to be a professional kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really common. Or like being the president, you have to be good at campaigning, but being good at campaigning has nothing to do with being a good president. Or like myself as a YouTuber and then understanding analytics. Or yeah, it's common where you have to now like bridge these two worlds of promoting yourself and also being good at your craft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's another thing too with like the fitness industry that always kind of like was like very skeptical. Is just that like you would get like very just like genetically gifted people, whether it's male or female, and they'd win like a bodybuilding show or figure show or bikini contest, and boom, automatic, like I'm a coach. Like I can sit there and
Mm.
like help you with your health and fitness and all that stuff, and utilize a big following, a vanity number. It's just it's crazy how that works.
Yeah, it takes away the credibility for the people
Mm-hmm.
that really do know what they're doing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's scary too for the consumer, right? I mean,
Yeah. But that's how powerful fitness is, though. It's like it increases status for so many people. And it's like they'll listen to somebody that literally has like that perceived like image that they want, but the other person can have all the certifications in the world and all the experience. But if they don't have that look, it's like they don't care. They want that look. That's how important the status like elevation is to them.
Right. Well, with nutrition too, it's like anybody who lost some weight is like, well, I know how to do it. Let me show you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although Max and I have seen that it's like very personalized, and you can't just like make a diet book for the entire world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
But then you got the other people just like selling Herbalife and like, hey, take these shakes, these detox.
Tummy tea.
teas.
Did you do that? Did you take those sponsors? One of the
Heck
belt,
no.
the ab belt or
No.
whatever, Sweet
I
Swiss.
cringe at that stuff, but what are you gonna do? You can't save the world and stop everybody from doing that.
I got a Fit Tea brand deal one way back when. I didn't know what it was.
What's the best flavor?
It was just, I don't know. It was like
He
it made
couldn't
me
tell.
sick
He
to my
put vodka
stomach.
in it.
And I'm
Is
like,
there one that
what
tastes
a-
like beer?
I would
just
like
shocked
Made you
myself.
sick?
like an IPA flavor.
Yeah, it made me like sick to my stomach. And I was like, I guess and I kind of emailed them back kind of sheepishly. This was like before everyone was making fun of Fit Tea, I guess. Not that, I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know. Maybe Fit Tea changed their formula for all I
Fit
know.
tea
But
hipster.
yeah, it was like tummy tea or whatever. And it just made you
Yeah.
like go to the bathroom a lot. And that's how it like
Mm.
slimmed you out. But I didn't even know that at
They
the
just
time.
gave you a
They just,
diuretic.
they just sent it to me like, yo,
It's
it's a new
laxative.
fitness tea. Like, what do you think? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I'll try it out. And then I'll get back to you on the deal. And then I was like, felt terrible for like a couple of
Emailing them
days.
from the toilet.
And I'm like, sorry, I don't think I could do this. I feel like kind of stupid about it. And they were like, oh, no problem. And then like a year later, every fitness person I know is doing Fit Tea. And I'm like, I should have just done it. That was so stupid.
It's hilarious.
Oh,
Ugh.
Do you find that fitness people, fitness trainers trying to get into the digital space now, how much of them focus on like training and how many of them focus on like merch, like food, either equipment or diets, not diet pills, but like, like nutrition stuff. Did any of them try merch or are they all trying to do Zoom classes?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, like we always see like them, trying to, want to sell like supplements and merch and stuff like that, which it's not a bad idea. I think every, fit pro, if they're doing personal training, should do some form of like, upsells to like, supplements or like done for you meals. Cause it's convenience, and it's like, they're
Mhm.
going to go buy it anyways. Like with our clients, I think we sold ourselves short for so many years, not like saying, hey, take these supplements, not pushing it on them, but just be like, hey, take these supplements because I know you're going to go buy them anyways. And they're kind of the staple ones. They're not the bullshit ones that you need really out there that has no like scientific literature. So I see them wanting to get into that, but it's just, again, they fear selling it. They fear kind of just like telling the client like how to take it or how to incorporate in their program. They feel like they're just being sleazy. And again, that comes with like a self-limiting belief that they're just used to already of like not wanting to charge for their time, not wanting to charge a lot of money, not wanting to sell, not wanting to market. So
Yeah,
it's a lot of stuff.
and just really quick to add to that, like for example, we had like our group coaching call with our students last night, and there's two newbies just really going into the online space, and they're already fearful of like programming online, right? But we have everything kind of done for them, like done for you templates that they can model. So then they were saying like, I don't feel comfortable giving out nutrition advice, which is fine. We're like, if you guys don't have like a certification, if you guys don't feel like that's kind of like one of your strong suits, then don't do it. But obviously it's like, you could do just basic recommendations, like, 3 meals per day, like a good protein, carb, and fat source, some micronutrients, just clean up their diet so they get kind of on track. So it's not rocket science, but it's like when you start programming, like, macros, calories in versus calories out, I mean, that takes a little bit more finesse. So
Well, I think what comes with that is when you know a little bit about something, then you see how much more other people know.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
then you're like, wow, I don't know anything.
yeah,
Whereas in reality, if you played like a sport in college, you probably know a lot more than someone who's
Yeah,
never done that or
unfortunately,
like
Yeah.
hated
Yeah.
gym
sure.
class in high school. So I think, I mean, I don't know, but that's imposter syndrome, classic
I think
imposter
so.
syndrome,
Yeah.
isn't
Exactly.
it?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
feel like you're
is
not
that
qualified enough.
so?
Yeah.
What do you say to them?
That's where you just peel back the layers. That's where literally I told the person, I was like, look, like this is what we have. It's pretty much a done for you template where it's just like, 3 meals per day, 2 snacks. And it's just, everything's kind of like balanced out with like a fist size, like a palm size to measure out a protein, carb, and fat source where it's like, just give this to them. They'll appreciate it and it will really help and benefit them. And then from there, you can have them track and just see what they're doing and then, further help them. So it's
Hmm.
just like the confidence just wasn't there. I'm just like, well, we have resources. It's not, you're not saying you're a dietitian and making these claims. It's just basic guidelines.
Hmm.
that are probably going to improve someone's life because they
Exactly.
need the
Like,
baseline.
yeah.
Yeah.
But going back a little bit, I'm surprised that you guys don't have a supplement line like you. I mean, I guess your pivot was more to help fitness professionals instead of just like building an empire of protein shakes. The only reason I'm saying that is because, well, Max brought this up because we're considering a Total Fitheads supplement line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like pre-workout that's illegal, that it's because it's so caffeinated. That's our lane right there.
Comes with vodka.
Yeah. I guess so. Like one of the reasons we never did that was I just didn't know enough about like that industry. You know, that was a whole another like monster of like a
Right.
side of a business that we would have had to like kind of learn and go through and all that
Record.
stuff. And I think we were just at that point where we were just kind of like checked out with the whole just like, you know, coaching people online and all that stuff, you know?
Sure. Yeah, it does seem like next level. I mean, Max and I are looking at people that are
Yeah.
doing this, and they're, you know, beyond the online training at that point, and you know, building an empire or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I think it's smart though. And that's why we recommend our students, like, you know, like there's a lot of, you know, companies out there that have affiliate programs, and it's like, you know,
Right,
why would you sit there and go recommend Vitamin Shop or GNC or bodybuilding.com and you don't get a kickback on it? You know, it's like, they're going to go buy it anyway. So it might as well.
Yeah. So we talked about your podcast for a second there. It's not a fitness podcast, right? It's like an entrepreneurship thing.
More entrepreneur, yeah, just kind of like just all like lifestyle. We just like interviewing just like different entrepreneurs, different expertises, and just yeah, I mean, just kind of just have fun with it and just like deliver value just around like health, wealth, love, and happiness. Just overcoming adversity. Just everyone's different tactical stuff for their expertise, storytelling. So yeah, like I said, Chris talks about the eyebrow threading like ambitions.
Got a couple episodes on there.
Couple episodes. Let's really delve in here.
Tune in next week for more.
You got to watch the YouTube video of it though.
Oh, yeah, I can't help it.
How has it been becoming a podcaster? I mean, if you're giving public talks, it's similar, but well, actually, I think you're performing more. Podcasting is more chit-chatting.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing it 4 years now. So, I mean, it's obviously like I tell anyone, if you're getting into it, just understand that, every master was once a disaster. You're going to suck at first, but it's like anything else, sets and reps, practice, 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 and you'll get better at it, But honestly, I think it's fun. Like, I love like interviewing. I love just hopping on with Chris and just conversating, just shooting the shit and just delivering value, just being real with people. I mean, we did an episode last week on like the whole thing on why we moved to Texas and like just went really deep for 30 minutes and just like a lot of feedback from people, just like really appreciate it. Like, thanks so much, for just like giving us the courage, for, thinking outside the box and just, that's what it's all about. Just impacting 1-2 listeners. I think everyone's always kind of focused on, man, I want to reach 100,000 people. Like I want Joe Rogan status. And it's like, dude, like just like chill, just like, build it up slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So the type of people listening aren't necessarily fitness professionals even.
I mean,
it's a combination,
it's a combination of everything. Yeah. Because then we'll get like, some fitness professionals on there and talk about their things. So yeah, I mean, it's like, it's very diverse. I think the demographic and audience.
Who's your favorite guest?
Who's your least favorite guest?
Man,
my least favorite. I think it was when we,
my brother. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it was interviewing Grant Cardone for me. Just because like, I really like consumed a lot of his info when it comes to like selling. I love his mentality of just like a killer instinct and just being relentless. So just to interview him in person, I got a really good feel for just like his energy, which it wasn't fake. Like he was the real deal, like who he perceives himself to be. And just, that was like refreshing. And he went really deep on some stuff. And he said that after that was a really good interview and good question. So I was like, damn, I was like, we showed up, we didn't panic and choke.
Eric didn't fumble his words. But I would say for me, it was Patrick Bet David. That was cool. Like coming out here last year to, Texas and doing it in his like valuetainment studio. So that was a cool, just overall experience being able to do that. Just meet the guy in person because we really like his like YouTube channel. So I'd say that, but it's been frustrating too, since like the whole COVID thing, because we pivoted. One of the reasons why we're out in LA is the proximity, right? To be able to like, have people in person and, quicker access. But ever since that happened, everybody's scared to kind of gather and like everything's been through Zoom. So it's a different dynamic, when you interview people in person and over Zoom. And for me personally, I just like, the whole like in-person touch. You know, you just get a lot out of them. You see their body movement, you just like feel their energy of like what the questions are doing to them. So yeah, it's a different dynamic. I wish I can kind of get back into the more in-person stuff, you know, going forward.
You can tell if they're wearing pants or not.
Right.
Looking at
Somewhat
you.
of a good idea.
Pants check. We should do that every episode. No, we should not.
No, we absolutely should not.
Yeah, Max and I talked about this all the time. We launched our podcast like with COVID. Like it was at the
Nice.
moment that it happened.
Nice.
We did
Awesome.
2 episodes in person, which were
Yeah.
probably the best ones because we got to be there with people, and then it's
Yeah.
just been this
Yeah.
box since then.
I know.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, I mean, it's like just getting creative with it, you know, on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing you guys should really capitalize if you guys stay in LA is just, you know, once this whole election's over and there's more kind of clarity on what's going on and stuff, like, you know, take advantage of just like that proximity, you know, because it's powerful getting those people in person.
Yeah,
that
when you
was the
talk about
plan.
right.
Right.
I mean, the plan was like to get gym bros in there. Like, let's tell me about your, Olympic lifts. Like, what are we doing on the rowing machine? Like all this like
Yeah.
gym stuff. Our second one was with a pro bodybuilder, won a bunch of competitions, a super cool guy. And then it suddenly was like, so what's your home workout looking like?
Yeah.
It's like over and over and over.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's tough.
A lot of shit's changed.
Yeah, totally. Well, and then you guys were public speakers too, right? None of that is happening anymore.
No, haven't done that all of 2020. So yeah, that's interesting too. And I question, going forward, like, is it still going to be the same? But one thing I'll tell you this, like, this might really benefit your listeners. Like, one thing we really came to, realize during COVID was that, living in LA, we were just going 100 miles an hour. I mean, that's just us. We were just podcasting, just doing so many things, like battling traffic, to where just like time was always like, just felt like it was an issue. And then ever since that happened, like with just COVID, like we just realized that, man, like maybe we don't need to always be so stressed out. Maybe just like life is so much more simple. So it really brought like just like simplicity of what really matters and like how much you could do. And you don't need certain aspects like of like a Southern California, of like just like that grind. So, I mean, there's blessings and everything, blessings and curses.
Man, I don't know. I feel like I've cut out 2 hours of commute to the gym and like so many different events, and I
What I'm
still
saying?
like
Yeah.
don't have any time. I'm still hustling just in my apartment right here.
Yeah.
No,
I
Max,
got
what
a
about
time
you?
issue too.
I think I simultaneously feel like I have so much time and like way less time,
Mhm.
because now like I'm not going out. I'm not like really going out to bars or dinner or whatever. So I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I could just edit that thing, and then, or I guess I could just write that thing, and then
Yeah.
so now I'm just like does feel like a lot more. I don't know. It's a weird mix. I think
Yeah.
I think that for a lot of people, what was nice was normal people, I guess, was like going into an office and then leaving, and that's like that
Right.
part of their day, and then they're home,
Yep.
and that's not the part of the day. Whereas I think what a lot of independent people, entrepreneurs or YouTubers or whatever, like you're sort of going all the time, so that isn't an issue that a lot of people have. Individual entrepreneur, I don't know, but they have to
Yeah.
figure out, they have to segment their day,
For sure.
because I know for me, like I've gone through periods where I'm working like 27 hours a day, and then all of a sudden I just like can't get out of bed because I'm like, I just burn out, and
Yep.
then
They're mentally
it's a tough
drained.
cycle for you. So
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
totally relate. You
Yeah.
know, like it took a long time for us to just be like Sundays are like an off day. Those are a reset day. I'm not going to crack open the laptop. I'm barely going
Yeah.
to do any social media stuff. It's just, I need that one day.
Pop open some beers, like just
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get ready. Get
It's-
ready for another week.
It's hard.
The-
you know, it's hard.
So
The
you work
worst
on
thing that
Saturday?
Saturday, like
days,
half a day.
half day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The worst thing that I do is I send business emails on like a Friday night, and then Saturday I'm like, whoa, what the who's like not getting back to me? This is ridiculous. Like this is a pressing issue, and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm an
Saturday.
idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, have you found that's a problem? Like in general, that when you work for yourself, like there is no you've done enough. It's not like you don't clock out. I have this trouble where it's like you always feel like you haven't done enough. And do you help coach your your coaches to sort of shut off? Or is that even a part of like the thought process?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's a great point. And even too, like before COVID hit, we would go to like co-working spaces. Like there was like blank spaces out there, like WeWork. So psychologically, that broke up our day and was like really awesome. Like to just like even like walk over there, ride our bike, whatever. Just like spend 4 or 5 hours there, and then it's like you almost clock out, and you're like, okay, I got enough done there. Like I can go back home now and just like focus on something else that's not business related. But it's hard to shut off, just being an entrepreneur. It's like, you never feel like you're done, but you have to, though. You have to have like a shutdown time. I truly believe that. It's just the part about being disciplined and just, being efficient within those time periods and just not overworking yourself.
Yeah. Like in our Facebook group the other day, I talked about these 4 different things like to ask yourself for like a quote unquote perfect day. And like that first one is like have a morning routine where it's like anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes for yourself to get ready to play offense and serve, right? You got to take care of yourself. The second thing is like, what type of work are you truly doing? Like, is it work that's moving the money and meaning needle forward, or is it bullshit work that you're just doing, right? Like low tasks that you shouldn't be doing. And the third thing is like, how do you know to cut it off? Like when you say, okay, this was a good day, I got everything done, right? And the fourth thing is that reward yourself every day. For me, it's like a couple of Netflix shows and I don't beat myself up about it. It's like mindless stuff. And it's like, okay, I'm cool with it. I got everything done. So I can watch a couple of Netflix shows and I can kick my feet up and relax.
What shows?
Right now I'm watching that new Haunted one. It's the Haunted of like, I don't remember what the rest is, but it's pretty creepy.
It's scary.
It's creepy. It's creepy. I'm like episode 4 and it's like, man, it's crazy the way they made that whole film. It's just like, you got to really pay attention.
Yeah.
The other one was better though. The Haunting at Hill House or something. I like that one. That was good.
Yeah. They're both good.
I think I caught one and I was like, I'm too scared. This is too scary.
Like, nope.
I mess with my sympathetic nervous system too much in the gym. I don't need it while I'm watching TV. Thanks. I'm trying to recover here. Get my heart rate down. Jeez. I do want to talk about your authors. You have 2 books now? Tell me about that.
2, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the first one we wrote was The New Era of Fitness. So that was about 4 years ago. And the whole intention was that.
Seriously, what did you know? I saw it coming.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but what's funny is
keeps hinting that
someone else asked us this on a podcast, and like it was weird. Like the intention of that was like because we were predicting where things were going, and like we saw that self-development and personal development were just really kind of making a big splash, and now they're here and everyone's all about it. So 4 years ago, we were like trying to incorporate that with fitness. So our 5 pillars around that book was like, flexible exercise, flexible nutrition, building a 6-pack in the brain, mindset, developing great habits, and then lifestyle, right? Working on yourself too. So we were trying to like blend that in with our coaching students, and some liked it, some didn't, but just putting that out to like the world, like people were just like really kind of not feeling that with fitness. But at the end of the day, it's like fitness is mind, body, soul, so that was the whole intention behind that book.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then the new book is The Rise of the Fitness Pros, where it's just helping fitness professionals, build a hybrid of in-person and online, and just giving them really just like, tactical, just like strategies on how to do that step by step.
Solid.
Can you give us a couple of steps?
Absolutely. Go for it, Chris.
Which one do you guys want? There's so many in there.
The
most
worst
important one.
I'll give you guys like the 4
Surprising
hybrid.
one.
I'll give you guys the 4 hybrids that we actually have in there. Like the first one is basically what is the remote hybrid. So if you're a trainer and you want to do maybe like predominantly 90% of like your coaching online, and then still have like 3 to 5 clients in person, that's called remote hybrid. And then the other one is extra cash hybrid. So that's somebody who still wants to be a full-time personal trainer, but they want 3 to 5 like online clients just to make an extra, side income. And then the next one is the best of both worlds hybrid. So that's 50% of like, in-person trainer, 50% of an online trainer. And then the 80-20 hybrid is really cool. It's like, if you're an independent trainer somewhere or a small boutique gym, you can have a client and train them like once a week or every 2 times a week. And the rest of that 80% is like remote check-ins and like all that type of stuff, like online coaching. But you still have that dynamic where they come in once a week or once every 2 weeks and get a workout in, take them through it, the accountability pictures, all that. So that's 4 hybrid models that people can kind of think about.
Do you have any sport trainers?
Sport trainers?
No.
Well, we have one. He's here in Texas. He works with like high school football teams, like with speed and agility.
Oh, yeah. Joe. Yeah.
That's probably the only person that does that.
We just had a guy on who's a squash professional, and he's doing
okay.
He does lessons in one-on-one in-person training, and he said, yeah, it's been bonkers trying to figure out how to do his in-person training in a a box, with a mask, and he's kind of like, you're on this corner and I'm on that corner, and it seems tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with like sports specific type stuff, like that would be even more of a challenge. Like,
Especially
because you really
online,
have
like-
to be there, like right in front of them and see what they're doing and correct them. Like, I mean, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think they were saying that too. Like when they resumed like the NBA, like they're saying that a lot of these like players their trainers were just giving them like structured programs to go follow, but those guys need motivation. That's what they
Yeah.
thrive off of, like the push from like those trainers. And if it's not there, it's like, man, they're not going to put in like 100% of that effort. And that's why when they come back to training camp, they're like out of shape or they get injured and stuff like that. So that's hard with like sports specific like that online and all that. Yeah.
I'm thinking back to my grandma watching golf swing VHS tapes, and she's just like, head down, got it, okay. I'm like, well, you already knew that, so what are you watching the tape again for?
Yeah.
That's how I learned how to juggle with a VHS tape. That's a sport, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
According to Josh. All right. Well, we have one question that we ask everyone that we bring
do it.
on. What are your thoughts on being a fitness professional and consuming alcohol?
Ooh, I like that question.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I think everything in moderation, like for me, like I'm like, I enjoy having like a beer, like a glass of wine, on the weekends, especially with like friends. Just that's my fix. I think everybody has a fix, and a lot of like fitness professionals are hypocrites when it comes to that. Like they don't want to admit that because they quote unquote have to be like clean, and it's bad if they consume alcohol because they're all about health. But no, I mean, I think in moderation. I think just with anything, whether it's like bad foods, just like drugs, obviously, right? Everything's in the dosage. So I think just in moderation, I think it's fine for me. Like I remember even doing a prep and I would have like a couple beers, on the weekends, as long as I fit that into my calories. I mean, probably not the smartest thing to do, but it's like, it's doable. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it just really depends, just like how far you're trying to take things.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. As long as it's not a huge issue and becomes like a habit, and they deviate off like their program or it's hindering their results, and fit it in moderation. Life's too short to be like, oh, I'm going to take that out for 24 weeks or 32 weeks just because I want to get that extra ab to pop out. So
Yeah.
Seven? You have 7?
People they want 7 or 8.
And like the commercials and billboards say, drink responsibly.
Well, how often do you see your trainers putting into the nutrition guidelines like you cannot drink?
And that's because they just don't know anything about like nutrition and like calorie balance and all that type of stuff.
Well, I'm just wondering, is it common? Do you see that, or is that not something?
I don't think it's common.
Okay.
Like very few that really understand it. The whole physiology of it, and like the nutritional sciences and all that stuff. But that's what we're talking about with like real authentic online coaching. That's like what you need to eventually do if you want to get to that point and have a real profitable online business, because that's where the individuality comes with training, nutrition, and accountability check-ins, and then making sure your clients getting the desired results they want through understanding like nutrition and training, not just like reading a couple of like books and being like, okay, I get it all. I get the whole concepts,
Yeah. And I think the fitness industry as a whole has come somewhat of a ways to be open-minded to alcohol. I think like 4 or 5 years ago, I remember even just, that was a hot topic of just like, oh, you can't drink alcohol, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, now it's just more kind of like, it's an open thing. Seems like.
And obviously it's because of us and our podcast and the one question
Exactly.
we
I
ask.
mean,
We've changed
man,
the industry.
You got to lead the way.
It's fun. It's fun. It's a little scary. It's fun getting drunk with super fit people because, oh man, they're lightweights by and large.
Yeah,
They
that's
have
true.
been cutting.
That's true.
And then they get a little, loose, and they give you a little like, you're a good guy, clap you on the back. You're like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Max and I have had push-up
funny.
contests on bar floors more often than I'd like to admit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
I
funny.
mean-
But like
The trick
my
is you don't go too close to the ground because
Yeah.
it's a bar floor. And you put it, you're like, oh, wait a minute. What am I doing?
Everything's a no rep.
that's funny.
Well, thanks for joining us. This was awesome.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was fun.
Thanks for having us, guys. This is a good conversation. I like how it's just like loose, like just us conversating, shooting the shit. So thank you.
Yeah.
We don't usually have a plan.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
this
good.
would have been fun in LA in person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no.
know.
Next
As
time.
soon as it's safe, come on
Right.
over. Can
Yeah.
hang out on my couch.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
appreciate it.
Yeah. And where can the Fitheads find you online and all of our trainers that listen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Instagram at Chris and Eric Martinez. Check out our podcast, the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast. And if you're a fitness professional looking to go online and create more income, impact, influence, and independence, head on over to dynamicfitpros.com and check out that site.
Max, should we start training people?
Well, I think we need a couple of those T-shirts first.
Yeah. Merch.
I'm about to send you guys a copy of the book, though. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
Sure.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Definitely.
Totally use it to even out my squat rack. I'm just kidding. I'll totally read it first. All right. And thank you to the Fitheads. Oh, and rate and review, please. We always forget to ask for that, but it makes a
Yeah.
huge difference. And you're awesome if you do. Thank you. And we will see you next week.